Okay, I'm going to ask a member of the council.
So, wait, I want to make sure I understand what that means. So the suggestion from the planning board, their master plan, that would have to be all reheard again? Is that what you're saying?
No, the master plan...
Let him talk.
The master plan is the planning board's document. It's not our document.
All right, so now take that up to the council level. Their recommendation still sits here on January 1, then what?
The council's responsibility is to adopt a zoning plan and a zoning map that's substantially consistent with the master plan. And if you adopt ordinances that are inconsistent with the master plan, you would have to, by resolution, explain why you're doing so using health, public safety, general welfare,
So the business at hand right now, there's several ordinances that we've opened up or have carried. Those ordinances that have come before us that are still open, that would die and have to be reheard again. That's what you're saying?
They would have to be reintroduced after January 1.
So actually, it's three. It's 1, 2, and there's
Well,
three.
Randy's
So there's
signed,
three.
it's nothing. That's not...
In terms of...
I could be mistaken.
Did I not?
No one could, I did not hear anyone say, I make a motion to table. I mean,
I make a motion, okay.
we already have a motion on the table.
All right.
We'll hear this motion. There's been a motion and a second. We're having comments on the motion to approve.
All right, so now my comments are on this motion to approve. So let's say this motion is approved, and there was some good testimony tonight in the last meeting about some things that may need to be tweaked, to use Tom's word, Tom Gannon's word. Can those tweakings actually still be incorporated into the approved motion on the ordinance? Or does that have to be an amendment after the, all the way back to the planning board having to rehear a new master plan?
What you'd have to do would be to make the motion approve with certain amendments, then you'd have to publish the amendments and then have a hearing on the amendments to the ordinance.
So there is that possibility, though.
Right, but I mean, in this type of ordinance, it's, you know, you'd basically have to be here another hour or two just to figure out what you wanted to tweak.
Are there any additional comments on the motion that has been seconded? Just want to make sure I'm clear. Are there any additional
Well,
comments on the
I
motion?
feel like commenting later, can I? Or is the answer no, Mayor?
From a parliamentary procedure, this is not the rule of Mayor DeBella. This is the rules of Robert's Rules of Order. We have a motion and a second. We're under discussion. Someone would like to make a comment for or against what has been motioned and seconded, the time would be now.
I am very set against voting on this now.
Okay?
On November 7th, the people of Howell Township said your vision was flawed. The 4 years up here on the planning board.
I'm not going to
on
entertain any
November 7th.
political comments. We've made that a rule, and it's just inappropriate to entertain political comments. Why do we have to get back to an election and what happened?
People spoke, Mayor.
The people spoke, and I'm not entertaining political commentary. This is not a political forum. You have your opinion. Let's have a substantive discussion. You're against it. Robert's Rules of Order would suggest a member who would like to speak against it should state the reasons why they're against a particular motion without having to get into, Mrs. Weitengruber, I'm going to ask you again. I happen to be chairing the meeting. If you need to make a comment, we can recognize you in the public portion, or you can step outside. Your call. Are you going to be quiet and not interrupt this meeting?
I made my comments.
You have made them all night long. You've commented from the audience, you've been disrespectful, and you have interrupted this meeting, and I'm going to ask you to stop doing it. Okay? Please. Always have to have the last word.
You know, I just can't see how we would even think of putting this document through. I mean, personally, it's beyond me. Okay, and we, you know, so many things that have been brought up by Ken Allen last week, bringing up so many things about the SED zones, rezoning Easy Street to have 1 acre. I mean, I was told by an environmental commission member that there's already a plan in to subdivide on Easy Street to 1 acre zoning. And it's zoned 2 acres now. I mean, what is that about? And you expect me to think there's no agenda? Somebody had an agenda for a 1 acre subdivision to be in on Easy Street with the environmental commission right now on something that's zoned 2 acres and more.
Well, then what we should do on that one is we should call Chris Christie tomorrow. We should have him come in. Mr. Chernetsky, I would respectfully request that we call the U.S. Attorney, Councilman Walsh, the person from the Environmental Commission, and everyone involved should immediately be interrogated by the U.S. Attorney's Office to determine if there was any impropriety, because I am absolutely fed up with the constant accusations that people around here are crooks. I want people to start opening up their mouths, and let's get it on the table. If someone's breaking the law, let's get the authorities in here, and let's get them carted the hell out. Because I'm fed up with the constant accusations that people are doing things illegally, immorally, unethically, on and on and on. We never get names. It's always this one or that one. Let's get it on the table.
I have no issues with it.
Well, then let's call Chris Christie tomorrow, and let's get it on the record.
Yeah, I have no issues with it whatsoever. I'd rather not drag Howell through the mud, but this should be stopped. It should be stopped now, okay? It really should be. There is nothing the matter with tabling this, going forwards, adjusting it accordingly to best benefit the people of Howell, and this document does not do it. There are too many stones that need to be turned over here.
No, based on...
I'm very upset about this, okay? It is unreal. It is unreal.
Okay, are there any other comments? Are there any other comments from the council?
I wonder if Mr. Malave and Mr. Tabasco should be voting on this.
Wait a minute, there's still absolutely elected...
Excuse me, I can defend myself. Mr. Walsh, you out of line. You out of line. I'm a sitting council person. I can vote on this, and I will vote on this.
I'm sorry,
One way or
sir.
another.
I'm sorry. You're correct. I'm sorry.
This chamber this is just way too political. It really is. It's way too political, and it's very unfortunate.
You know what? It's always been political, Mr. Mayor.
You're right.
But never like this. I've never seen it like this. And this is one of the reasons why I'm stepping down from being a council person, because of people like Bob Walsh, who brings his cronies in here to filibuster meeting after meeting after meeting, and I am sick of it.
And nobody is filibustering.
Okay, so are there any additional comments from members of the council?
I do have one remark.
Okay, one final remark.
I got an answer from Tom Gannon, which I didn't like. That is, if we approve this, we actually are not able to tweak this in an easy way. It would be, have a lot of testimony from a lot of people that would take, as he already said, hours to get the amendments done right. So my remark at this point...
Just do it.
What's that?
Sorry.
I don't care what you...
My comment, just giving my straw poll opinion right here, would be either to withdraw that motion we just made or vote no based on his guidance just now, so we could still do it right. So,
Okay.
if anybody else wants to make a comment before we vote,
My comments...
I'd entertain what their straw poll opinion would be initially.
My comments are germane to the ordinance, so